In today's video, we are going to study the game 5 of World Chess Championship match 1963. In this game, also Tigran Petrosyan was white and Mikhail Botvinnik was black. And Tigran Petrosyan opted for the English opening, the c4 defense. g6, d4, knight f6. Till present, we don't know that what Mikhail Botvinnik has in his pocket. Whether he's going to play King's Indian defense, or whether he's going for pick defense, or whether he's going for a Grunfeld defense. C3, the standard reply. Now d5. Now we understand that Mikhail Botvinnik is going for the Grunfeld defense. Knight f3, the standard response. Bishop g7 and e3 by Tigran Petrosyan. Here the second most common move is instead of here, white has two more choices, and that is queen b3. The game may continue like that. c5, sorry, d into c4, now queen into c4, and now castle, and now the move is e4, and here a6, stopping this knight jump over here. This may be the continuation if white goes for the move queen b3 over here. So we come over here. The second main continuation is in this position. If white does not play e3, is bishop g4, sorry, bishop g5 by white, bringing the bishop immediately out of this pawn chain, which is being blocked by the e3 move, which was played in the game. The continuation might be like this, that knight e4 threatening the bishop, bishop f4 to save square, knight into c3, b into c3, castle, now e3, and you may see that in this sequence of moves, this bishop is out of the pawn chain. It's not stuck over here on c1 and c5. In Grunfeld, you understand that black is going to hit the center at every cost, and immediately he is going to open up the center. Grunfeld players like open positions. Remember that. The standard move is c into d5, queen into d5. Now bishop e2, c into d4, c into d4, queen a5 check. This is all theory. And queen d2. And knight c6. Black is developing the knight and saying that, are you really going to exchange the queens? And the main move over here is queen into a5, knight into a5, and now the move is bishop to d3. This might be the sequence of the moves. If e3 is not being played and bishop g5 is being played in the game. In this sequence of the moves, this bishop is out of the pawn chain immediately. And these two pawns which black has on this queen side, it would not be easy for black to move them. And after castle, white is going to utilize these two c file and p file. This is what white is going to utilize. And in the sequence of moves, black bishop is struck. This diagonal is struck by white pawn. d3 move is also good. It is slow move, slow development move, the positional move. And Tigran Petrosyan was, I told you in the last video and in many videos, and people also know that he is considered one of the greatest defenders of all time. He was considered. So e3, now castle, black castles, and bishop e2. Here there are two moves in the main moves, and that is the second main move is c into d5. Now knight into d5 and bishop c4. In this sequence of the moves, if the pawn takes over here on d5, now black has an option whether he can take the knight or whether he can just develop his knight to b6 and then play the move c5, and both options are playable. I'm going to show you that how knight b6, now bishop to b3, and now c5, and this way black opens up the center. And if in this position, after bishop b4, knight into c3, b into c3, now c5, white castles, standard reply, and now queen c7, and white is going to give up a, black is going to give up a pawn, and he is going to bring all his pieces over here to attack this pawn over here and control these files, these open files he's going to control. I'm going to show you that how it may continue. That queen e2, protecting the bishop, knight c6, developing the knight, now bishop a3, hitting this pawn over here twice, and black sacrifices this pawn. This is all theory. And d into c5, suggestion by the computer, whereas in the theory the main move is rook ac1. Now bishop b7, black is still saying that you may take my this pawn, and he's going to take back this pawn, and rook b1. Black white centralizes these rooks. This is the theory. As per the computer, it is better to take the pawn over here. This will be that b into c5, bishop into c5, now knight e5, challenging this knight over here, knight into e5, queen into c5. After knight goes back, knight f3, now you pin this knight over here, rook ac1 and rook fc8, and there is a lot of pressure on this pawn, and this pawn is going to fall. So this might be the sequence of the moves. If instead of bishop e2, white takes this pawn immediately. So d into c4, bishop into c4, all theory, standard replies, c5, hitting the center, the Grunfeld concept, and now d5. Here this main move nowadays which is being played is castle, because after c into d4, now e into d4, white plays with an isolated pawn where his bishop is going to develop immediately, whether over here or whether over here on f4. If we develop the bishop, this bishop can be developed over here to bishop g4 also. That is, if bishop black pins the knight over here immediately. Sorry, h3. Now bishop into f3, queen into f3, queen into d4. If black takes this pawn immediately, this is also playable, but he is going to lose his rook. I am going to show you that how. Queen into b7, knight d7, and after that bishop bishop b5. This might be the sequence of the moves, and in the long run there is a very long line that black has 2 more pawns, and he has lost, he is exchanged down of rook. It is a very long line, you may check it with computer. So d5 was played in the game after c5, and e6, this is the standard response, immediately challenging this pawn over here. But the position which arises from this move e6, although it is the standard reply, the problem is that when d into e6, bishop queen first, queen into queen check, king into queen. Now white does not has the right to castle. This is the only advantage black has, but queens have been exchanged. Bishop into e6, bishop into e6, f into e6, and this pawn is a problem. Now this is a pawn, and black is has to defend it because it has no defenders. Instead of here, there is another continuation, and I like that very much, and that was knight pd7. The reason is that in this sequence of the moves, you don't get this pawn, just lone pawn over here on e6. After that, um, bishop e2. This is the standard move, or the second move is e4, immediately controlling the center. But now b5. The point of sacrificing this pawn is that after bishop into pawn, now knight into e4. If you take my knight, I'm going to take your knight. And the best move only over here is castle. Because knight now, b c3, and knight b6. And I think in this sequence of the moves is better for black, instead of the move which was played in the game, and that was e6. Although still it is theory. D into e6, queen into queen check, king into d1, bishop into e6, bishop into e6, f into e6. We are still in the theory. King e2, the best move, and knight c6. Now the theory has been closed over here till 12th move. We don't have a game in the database anymore. The point is that now white is going to develop his rook, and black has also challenged his rook. White's rook, rook into rook, rook into d8. Now knight g5, hitting this pawn over here. The idea behind this knight g5 move is that when black protects this pawn with the rook e8 move, now you are going to exchange one of the knights, black's knights. This is the idea behind this move. Rook e8, protecting the pawn, knight g e4, knight into e4, knight into e4, b6. As this pawn was threatened, now it is time to develop this rook. So rook b1, and before this development of rook, white has all the time in the world. He can play the move h4. Kind of side play. After that, rook comes to c8. The reason behind bringing the rook to c8 is that you are going to move your knight in this way or in this way and bring this knight to d5. And then you are going to push your pawns very fast. And now white plays the move rook b1, knight b4. The idea behind is that this might be the sequence of the moves. Now the move is e4, immediately saying that I'm not going to allow you to push the pawn to b5. Knight d5, and now bishop d2, protecting this square and this square also. The idea, if instead of over here after rook b1, black plays the move rook c8, black immediately goes for this idea, bringing in the knight to d5. This is also good, but the best sequence was first to rook c8. Now bishop b2, sorry d2, knight d5. Black has achieved this structure, and only thing he has left with that, he is going to push his pawns. So the immediate thing is that we are going to counter this b5 move, and how we can counter it? by the move a4, and this was played by Tigran Petrosyan. If you go for this move b4, it does not shields anything for sorry, white, because after uh, c into b4, now bishop into b4, and now rook c8, and white rook has immediately taken control of this c5. This problem, that's why you are not going to play the move b4 immediately. So a4, now c8, for the advance of these pawns in this way, b3, holding this pawn on its tracks. Sorry, bishop f8. There are two moves. The reason behind is that to bring the bishop over here, to not let the knight come over here on d6. And this square is already protected f6 by this knight. On the other sequence of the moves to protect this square d6 is that you may play the move king f8. Now rook c1, now king e7, and this square is being protected. And this f6 square is also being protected. This was the better version. Bishop f8 move was also right, but this was the better version. In this way, the black king is developed very fast. f3 by white, knight f6, bishop c3, knight into e4, bishop into g7, knight f6. And this bishop can retreat from over here if white does not want to exchange his bishop for this black's knight. And now the move is e5, countering anything that white wants to play. For example, f5, or like that, g3, and then f4. So in the game, bishop f8 was played, and the main reason is that black does not want white's knight to come over here on d6 when he brings his king into the center. Or this pawn is going to be protected twice, and this knight could be free and this rook could be free, and it may come over here on d8. This is the idea behind this move bishop f8. Now rook c1, taking control of this half open file. Bishop e7. The reason behind this bishop e7 move is that this knight is now free, because this f6 square and this d6 square is covered by a bishop, and this white knight can't move over here on both of these squares. b4. Now it was the time to play the move b4, because black can't take the pawn over here. The only thing is that he can do is that he may push the pawn, or he may bring his king to this center. Now b into c5, b into c5, and this was the better way to do that, because if now knight c3, you come over here, still you are going to bring your king to this side. Now knight b5 is knight e3, stopping black to play any move like that c4. Now the king can come. But you play the move rook b8, as this pawn is protected and it is not going anywhere. And this was the better version. Instead of the move which was played in the game, and that was c4. And you will understand that in the end this pawn falls because it becomes a loner pawn, because white's immediate move was that he does not want this pawn c4 pawn to be connected one. So what do you play? You play the move b5, and this was played by Tigran Petrosyan. And in the long run, this pawn falls on c4. And the only reason is that that was the better version, to bring the king like this and then take control of this pawn, this file, sorry. So now king f7, bishop c3. Now taking control of this diagonal first, and don't letting the king to come like this. Although it is also covered by this knight, but this knight is now free to move. It can move like this. This is the concept behind the move bishop c3. Bishop a3, and this was the mistake by Mikhail Botvinnik. Instead, it was better go for the move h5, stopping any play on the king side. These four pawns would get held by these black's three pawns. Then black can try to hold this position from over here, from queen side. Game may continue if black had played the move h5 like this, then knight d2, bishop f6, bishop into f6, king into f6. Now rook into c4, rook into c4, knight into c4. And you see that this game is going after draw, because white has these four pawns against here black's three pawns, and both of the sides have knights, and this is a draw with accurate play. b3 now, rook c2. This move, the problem with this move is that it loses the tempo and develops the rook to better scare, to better rank. Knight into c3 check, rook into c3, bishop b4, attacking the rook. Rook comes back to c2. Now king e7, knight d2, hitting the pawn, and c3, protecting the pawn. Knight e4, and you may say that, see that this king is going to move over here on d3, and this pawn is going to fall. Bishop a5 was played in the game. Although it seems to be a good move, there is nothing wrong with it. But the best move instead over here was I think the try was to play the move h5. Because after king d3, now you may give the check. King has to move back. King e2. Otherwise, if he goes like this, now you can play the move bishop a5. Although it seems that white's king is being developed, but after knight into c3, bishop into c3, rook into c3, now rook d2, and black holds the position. If in this position, king into c3, now what? Rook d1. And sorry, the only thing black is going to do is saying that I'm going to cut your king over here on this t file. If you want to see the example of this move that black cuts the king, white king, from entering this side of the board, then you may see my game, a very instructive rook and knight end game, I think it was that, by Magnus Carlsen and Ding Liren. I think it is the same, there the same concept arises, that Magnus Carlsen cut the white king from entering this side of the board. So bishop a5 was played by Mikhail Botvinnik. Now king d3, and you may see that why this pawn move was wrong, a loner pawn, because it is now going to fall. It is attacked being twice, it is protected being twice. Rook d8 check, king c4, now rook d1. Still black has the chance to hold this position. Knight into c3, rook h1, and this was the mistake of Mikhail Botvinnik. He tried to went out for these pawns. Instead of here, the better version thing was that you are going to take the knight, same which position arised first. Now, when king takes, you are going to hold the king from going to this way side of the board, white king, and this way you would be able to draw the game. Let's show how it can be achieved. H5, now H4 first, stopping the movement of this G5 pawn. Now king F6 and king B2. Bring the king out of the way of this square. Now king E5. White goes for this pawn. Now D2 check. You are going to gobble up these pawns, going to play this move, and this black has a fight with D5. H5 pawn. H pawn. So in the game, rook H1 was played, and now knight E4, bringing the knight to center. And when the king is going to move, whether to over here or here, the rook is going to be completely active. And the second point is that bringing the knight over here is that it is protecting this f2 pawn, because when this rook takes this pawn, for example, which was happened in the game, rook into h2, instead it was better to again move the rook back over here. It was the best try to hold the position. But now when he played the move rook into h2, now g3, and everything is protected, see, by this knight, and this knight can't be challenged, and this king can move to the king side of the board. And this is how Tigran Petrosian won the game. After king d4, now the king is going for this side of the board for these pawns, because this all side is covered. And now you understand that why, and now you understand that why this bishop on a5 is not good. Yes, why this bishop on a5 is not good. The reason behind is that he if it was on b4, whether over here, it may move to anywhere, but here it is just controlling this diagonal. So king d7 was played by black. Instead of here, it was better try to play the move h5, that don't let the king immediately enter the game. But after rook check, king and rook into pawn, rook into g2, for example, and now black has some fight in the game. So after king d7, first the move g3. Now these pawns are protected, and this rook is free to move, although it is the king is controlling these squares, c6, c7 and c8 squares of the rook movement. But now the king enters in the position, white king. Bishop b4 was played by black. Here another try was first to play the move h5 and try to counter these pawns, this side, these pawns. And how it is possible? Because now if king e5, now you play the move first bishop e1, threatening to take this pawn if knight moves or rook moves. So rook e2, now bishop b4, rook b2, attacking the bishop, bishop e1 again, now king f6, for this pawn. Now first move is h4, g into h4, rook into h4, and and this knight is protected completely. And move is rook h1, and here white is completely winning. But this was also the version, although in this position, which was where bishop b4 was played, here white is already completely winning because there is no way to stop this king from entering this side of the board. So king e5, rook h5 check, king f6, bishop e7 check, king g7, and e5. Instead of here, it was best to play the move immediately a6. The reason behind is that after b into pawn, now this rook can come here over here. When white will gobble these two pawns, black will be able to pick up these two pawns, these two pawns, and this pawn, he had the chance to tease his opponent, although white's position is very good over here. In good hands, it is a completely win. So after e5, now rook c6, first cutting the king from moving on the 6th rank. Rook h1, now king f7 first. The reason behind the move king f6, f7 is that you are going to bring the rook over here and challenge this bishop. Rook a1 going for the a4 pawn. Now rook e6, bishop d8, rook d6 check, king c8, now king e8. Think that I am going to capture this bishop in this way. Now bishop c7, bishop c6, and rook d1 was played over here. Instead of it, the better try was bishop b7, king b7. And now if king d7, now the bishop can move over here to b8. And still black is in the game. Although white's position has completely overwhelming over here. Because for ember rook c4 protecting this pawn over here on a4. Now black can try for the escape scare. Knight d6 check, bishop into d6, king into d6, and now rook a2. And still black has some fight in the game remained. So rook d1 was played by black, by Mikhail Botvinnik. Now knight g5, a very beautiful move. That I'm going to play the move e6 and your bishop is pinned. So rook d8 check, king f7, rook d7 check, king g8, and here in this position Mikhail Botvinnik resigned the game. The problem is that these both pawns are going to fall. And there is no way that Mikhail Botvinnik can stop them. And white is completely winning in this position. So if you liked my video, kindly subscribe and hit the bell icon button. Thank you very much.